Welcome to the Olive Grove Podcast. We're diving deep again today, and this time into something really foundational.
We are. We're looking at 1 Corinthians chapter 13,
Yeah.
exploring this idea of love as the real measure of victory in God's kingdom.
Right, specifically that agape love, the kind Jesus demonstrated.
Exactly, that selfless, sacrificial love. Our study today really unpacks it based on this chapter.
And the lead-in is crucial, isn't it? That last bit of chapter 12, verse 31b.
And now I will show you the most excellent way. Yeah, it's the perfect bridge.
Because chapter 12 was all about spiritual gifts.
Right.
Tongues, prophecy, healing.
And Paul's basically saying, okay, those gifts are great, but they're meant to build each other up. This verse pivots to show the how, the most excellent way to actually use them.
Okay, so let's jump into chapter 13, verse 1. If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal.
Wow. Yeah, quite an image, all noise, no substance.
And the study we looked at points out Corinth itself, a place known for, well, indulgence.
Definitely. Not exactly a model of the kind of love 1 John 3.16 talks about laying down your life for others. So even miraculous speaking.
If it's just noise, or worse, if it's about drawing attention, like, hey, look at me.
Right. Then it just doesn't connect. It's empty, like that clanging cymbal. It loses its power.
Then verse 2 takes it even further. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains but do not have love, I am nothing.
Nothing. It's stark, isn't it? Even these incredible God-given insights and mountain-moving faith, without love, they're worthless in God's economy.
It challenges that idea that just having the gift makes you spiritually superior.
Exactly. The study suggests these are tools from God for others. But if pride creeps in,
Pride about your amazing knowledge or faith.
then you're actually detracting from the message, from the master. It shifts the focus onto you, and the gift becomes, useless.
Which leads right into verse 3. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship that I may boast but do not have love, I gain nothing.
Even the most extreme acts of charity or self-sacrifice.
Yeah, things that look incredibly righteous on the outside.
If the motivation isn't love, if it's maybe for recognition, for boasting, the study links this to pride again.
Root of sin, yeah.
And it profits nothing. It reminds me of what Jesus said in Matthew 6 about doing righteous acts just to be seen by others.
Right. You've already got your reward, basically, in that recognition. No heavenly value. The heart behind it matters most.
Precisely. Which brings us to verses 4 through 7, the real heart of the chapter, describing what love is and isn't.
Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It just keeps going.
It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. It's such a high standard.
It really is. The study points out that patience and kindness, those are active choices, aren't they? Often requiring us to put others first.
Absolutely. And is not list envy, boasting, pride, rudeness, selfishness, anger, holding grudges.
That sounds depressingly familiar sometimes, doesn't it? Those are our struggles.
They really are. It highlights that internal conflict, the flesh versus the spirit.
And then it ends on such a powerful note. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres.
That always quality. The study connects that endurance, that perseverance, to God's power working within us. It's not just our own willpower.
But love isn't just passive. It's this active, enduring, God-empowered force.
Exactly. Now, verses 8 to 12 shift the focus a bit, looking at the permanence of love compared to the gifts.
Love never fails. But then prophecies, tongues, knowledge, they will cease. They will be still. They will pass away.
Right. They have their purpose for a time, but they're temporary. Our current understanding is partial, like looking in a murky mirror.
For we know in part, and we prophesy in part, but when completeness comes, what is in part disappears.
So there's this future perfection, this full understanding that's coming, likely when Jesus returns. That's when we'll see clearly, face to face. It points towards our ultimate spiritual maturity.
A complete picture, not just the blurry reflection we have now.
And that culminates in the final verse, verse 13.
And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love.
This study really emphasizes this. Faith and hope are vital, absolutely essential for our journey now.
But they have a point of fulfillment, right? When we see Jesus, faith becomes sight, hope becomes reality.
That's exactly. But love continues because God is love. It's his very nature. So love endures eternally. It's the ultimate, the greatest.
So pulling it all together, this most excellent way Paul talks about isn't just a nice feeling. It's this active, selfless, God-like love that should underpin everything.
It's the core of Christian living, the measure of true success in the kingdom. It's how we truly connect and build up one another.
Okay, let's just pause for a moment here. If you're looking for ways to connect with other believers and grow in your faith journey, we really want to mention the My Christian Space community. It's a wonderful online space for fellowship and support. Definitely worth checking out.
And, speaking of putting love into action, we also want to highlight the incredible work of Enduring Freedom Ministries. Their goal is simple but profound, providing essential care for those who are really struggling.
Yeah, and think about this. For just $4 a month, which is really quite manageable for many of us, you can help them provide a hot meal, groceries, clothing, even a haircut and laundry services for one person.
It's such a tangible way to make a difference, to show that agape love we've been talking about. It meets real, immediate needs. We really encourage you, if you can, to consider partnering with Enduring Freedom Ministries in their mission.
So as we wrap up this deep dive on 1 Corinthians 13, the message is just so clear and timeless, isn't it?
It really is. Love, that selfless agape love. It's not just an important thing, it's the most important thing. It outweighs gifts, sacrifices, everything.
It's the definition of victory, the core of our faith and life.
It calls us to constantly check our motives, Are we acting out of love or something else? It's a challenge for all of us, every day.
Absolutely. If you want to hear more discussions like this one, please do subscribe to the Olive Grove podcast over on YouTube. We'd love to have you join us regularly.
And for early access to these deep dives, plus more info on the My Christian Space community, head over to the My Christian Space website. Lots of good stuff there.
And maybe just one final thought to leave you with. Think about one of those characteristics of love. From verses 4 to 7, maybe patience, maybe kindness, maybe not keeping a record of wrongs.
Yeah.
Just pick one and consciously try to practice it this week in your interactions. See what happens when you actively choose love as your guide.
It can be truly transformative.